with a basket, these animals are weak enough and young enough their gills can get caught in the suction of the basket.
Oh, okay.
And that's happened to students who have taken animals home, even when I've told them not to do it. And then they're like, half the gills are gone. I'm like, don't worry, they'll grow back, but stop the tank. You know?
Is it better to keep them in a non-circulating tank until they get older, or?
It could be. And they're gonna, if you take that animal that's been used to living in a little tub and you put it in a big thing like this, first thing it's gonna do is gonna hide. It's gonna go to the side and it's gonna be like, oh, you know. But very, very quickly it'll figure things out. If you give it a PVC pipe, it'll be happy as a clam at high tide. It'll go right for that PVC pipe. And what I like about the pipes is you can pull them out and clean them easily. If you buy, I don't know, SpongeBob Under the Sea, little pineapples, you don't know where those came from. You don't know the chemicals that were made. They were made from. They're for, you know, tropical fish, which usually don't live very long. You can also use a terracotta flower pot, and they'll go in and out of that. But if you have terracotta roof shingles, you can use those. But I just like the PVC pipes.
And then you can increase the size of the aquarium as it goes up to like 20, 30, 40 gallons.
I have people at home. I have people who have tanks that are like this big for one animal, but with like plants and all sorts of stuff.
How high can you have the water?
They breathe in the water, so they don't need to get to the surface. But you can keep it low if it's not filtering. You can have it all the way up to here. They will swim around and use the space that you give them.
If you have it up really high, do you have to still like dump all the water out and then refill it?
I think if you've got a filtering system and it's really high, I would exchange solution like every 2 weeks. I would take out a third to half of the water and replenish it. But not with, if you're on town water that's chlorinated, you've got to age that water. If you're on well water, you can pull it right out of the bottom. If you're on well water, you can use the well water. My son's girlfriend has an AXO, and they have a carboy they bring back and forth. We're on well water, so they come and get our water. I would prefer to either age water naturally or use well water. And you're fine. You're fine.
And the substrate, it's best to have it plain.
I like it plain or big rocks. If you look here, these are mating rocks. So when I do matings, I have the animals in here. The males will deposit a mucus cone with sperm at the top called spermatophores. The female takes those spermatophores up into her cloaca and then passes the eggs by them. That's called indirect internal fertilization because the guy doesn't put the sperm there. But anything that's smooth, a smooth rock surface, I tend to discourage people from sand, discourage people from gravel, anything that's small enough for them to eat. No marbles, no half moon pebbles from Michael's. They'll eat them. And then you'll be right back to me saying, my animal's sick, it won't eat, it's floating on its side. And I'll say, marbles? And they're like, no. And I anesthetize the animal, I always find a marble. For years I used them, but then I discovered this. This is, what the heck is this called? This is called this is called a squish. It's one of those. It's like hard plastic and
I have never even seen one.
What do they call it? I forget. Anyways, yeah. So it's but these I've used these for years. You can buy them in the kitchen section of Target and Walmart, and it's much nicer for aquatic animals. Much nicer.